40 acres in Butte, Montana. This one's just south of town next to Thompson Park. It is adjacent to Deer Lodge National Forest, south of Butte. So my name is Miles McLaughlin here with Wilco Land. What we do is we buy and sell unique and epic land investments. This one itself, I'm going to click through a few photos. You can see we've got some great drone imagery. I think there's like an old cabin on the property of some sorts, or the bare bones of one. In this video, I'll go over what I know about the property, how you can access the property, what I know about access. That's going to be the biggest question that we get with this property is discussing access. And some other FAQs I'll talk about in this video too. So just kind of walking you through the land here. I believe the property is all on this spine, and I'll pull it up on satellite imagery on Google Earth to show it to you. But just a beautiful property. I mean, it's a stone's throw into Butte, Montana. So you can see heavily forested. This is all Forest Service land. Everything to the south view is going to be Forest Service. So it is in Hunting District 340. This is a great recreational land investment. So you can camp. There's no restrictions around camping. There's no restrictions on building off-grid cabins and things like that. So if you're looking for an off-grid experience really close to town, I mean, this is going to be a great opportunity. So in the listing, we've got a little bit of a story about the property, right? And again, great camping, hunting, hiking, recreation, things like that, your own little mountain biking course, whatever you want to do with it, get creative, right? It is a recreational property, and that's how we're selling it. So I want to start this video talking about access. There is no road to get to the property. It is going to be hiking access. So I'm going to pull the property up here on Google Earth and satellite imagery. And I'm going to show you the property on Onyx maps too. That's my favorite app for land viewing. So, what we're looking at here, this is the town of Butte, Montana. This is a beautiful pass and an area along here where 90 goes through. So just south of town here and outside of Butte, you take Highway 2 down here. Here's our property, right? And so everything behind our property in this area is all national forest, right? That's all publicly accessible. Great hunting, recreation, camping, things like that. This is Thompson Park down here. So we're looking at, this is historical. Butte's a very historical town in Montana. And so there was a lot of mining back in the day and, railroad system, a lot of economy back in the day. So we can see Lower Eagle's Nest is right here. This is what it looks like out here. I mean, this is kind of boots in the ground feedback. So all along Highway 2 is public access points. So you can park down at these areas, and I'll go through that here in a second with you. You can even get on street views to see what this little canyon looks like. So what do you have to do to go access this property, right? You're going to have to hike in right now. I mean, that's a reality of this property. And so, again, we're looking at, this looks like some sort of utility easement, coming through here. Someday you could look to try to get an easement from one of the neighbors. I have talked to this landowner. He does not want people knocking on his door, asking him for an easement right now. He's not going to give an easement to you. It's not going to be that simple. If it were that simple, we'd be getting the easement. We'd be putting a driveway into the property. So if you do want to work on getting a legal easement through the Forest Service right here, right through the National Forest somewhere to put a driveway in or some sort of 2-track to get back to your property, maybe you can work with these adjacent neighbors, getting something up along the ridge. Maybe there's something from the east side coming off this road. You can access the property down here. Maybe you can find some sort of easement. This would be the most logical route coming in off this road for an easement. But let me be clear about this. You can't be going up to neighbors' houses, knocking on doors, asking for easements. Like I said, the property is priced with that in mind. We sell a lot of these type of properties. These are really unique. These are really cool opportunities to own affordable real estate in Montana outside of Butte, right? A recreational property that's going to have tangible value for you to build an off-grid cabin, use material on the property, hike in, pack in material, right? However you want to, whether it's a snowmobile during the winter. Again, I haven't looked at the regulations on this area if there's motorized traffic allowed, but it's either hike in, snowmobile in, you cross-country ski some stuff in. So it's your own little mecca, right? A little backcountry skiing, some mountain biking. Like I said, you're camping up here. It's a weekend escape for you, your family, your friends. It's a place to create memories. And maybe someday there's a world where an easement exists, or there's an attorney that can help you get an easement. But this is a 1, 3, 10-year project. It's not going to happen overnight. And maybe it has. I've sold a lot of property like this, And people have acquired easements from neighboring landowners through working with attorneys. And it's been for some people really easy, and for other people a challenge, and they still haven't acquired it yet, right? But these are world-class locations, and in a worst-case scenario, you're always going to have tangible recreational value to this property. If you do get that easement, this is worth 2-3 times as much as what you're paying, right? And so, like I said, that could come with time. That could come with working with the right attorney, with working with your neighbors. Again, there's no guarantee about that, though. If it were that easy and I could guarantee it, we'd be asking $250,000 for this property, right? So, I mean, that's the things you have to think about. What we're selling is a recreational property. What's priced here is a recreational land investment. And there's a lot of opportunity on a recreational land investment. We do a lot of these type of deals. So there is a lot of value to it. There's a lot of long-term value to it, right? Can you get that easement? Does that get acquired? So what I'm doing is I'm using Onyx maps. If you're going to go visit the property, I highly recommend downloading this app. I have a blog on our website about how to use it. So, access is from down here. There's a lot of access points where you can park down here at the park, and you can go hike up to the property, right? You can, I'll measure this out, but these are parking areas down here. You can see picnic tables, campgrounds, all that good stuff, right? These are day use areas. So, just directly, if you're going to do a straight line, it's a mile hike up to the property. And there's other hiking trails that meander back here. You can see that here, right? These are trails. This is some sort of trail on Onyx maps right here that you can get to the ridgeline and just take this ridgeline straight back here. So, there are trails meandering up here to this ridgeline, it looks like, and then you would take this ridgeline directly back to the property. And, like I said, this is all public land. This is John Gulch Trail. This is Milwaukee Road Trail. So there's a lot of different trails. There's Kirby Day Use Area. There's a little golf disc course down here. This would be a fun place for you and your friends to build some sort of Forest Service cabin back here, kind of similar to what Forest Service does on these properties. Some sort of dry cabin, a wood burning stove, a fun place to, like I said, hang out, recreate, hunt, do a little skiing in the winter. So hiking in the summer, some Frisbee golf, right? Have some beers on a Friday night after work. It's a place close enough to Butte to get out of sight of town, have a good time in the mountains, and have your own piece of real estate, have your own investment in Montana, right? That's what you're looking into buying. So again, I have talked to this neighbor. It's a 4th generation rancher out here in Montana, this cattle company, McDermott Cattle. So like I said, respect neighbors' privacy when you're going to view these properties. The access to go visit this land is through Forest Service from the south here. Like I said, you can park at these day use areas. There's a lot of different Lion's Den campground. There's a picnic area here, a picnic area there. So as I zoom out, this color, this is all Forest Service, right? It's over 60,000 acres. The Continental Divide Scenic Trail runs just to the south of the property. So there's a lot to like about this property from a recreational standpoint. But again, it isn't as easy as knocking on somebody's door to get an easement. So I want to be clear about that. Respect neighbors' privacy there coming in from the west. Haven't talked to any neighbors to the north here. Could you get in through this little area down here? Is there some sort of easement to be had here? Maybe, running along that ridge line, and maybe Forest Service will grant you some sort of, easement to do a 2-track up the ridge line. It looks like there's some sort of road or trail that gets you to the ridge line. Those are questions I don't have answered. I haven't done all those calls. I haven't done all that research. But again, that could take years to get figured out. So like I said, we've got the property priced as a recreational land investment. There's a lot you can do with these. We sell a lot of these type of land investments, especially when they're adjacent to public land, which allows you to hike in, which allows you to pack in, right? If motorized vehicles are allowed, you're bringing a side-by-side up. You're bringing a dirt bike up or maybe a snowmobile. So there's still a lot that people do with these type of properties. I've even heard of people dropping materials from helicopters. I don't know the cost on that, but people have done that. There's a lot of properties around the country where people do that, and it's not as rare as you might think. So, for the most part, that's what we're looking at here. We're looking at, I kind of did the spiel on it. There's a lot of properties. We're priced super competitive. There's an 11 acre with no access price for $100K. And I would say we're a far superior, a far better subject property than this one here I've got linked. So I do want to point out these properties do get bought and sold. They get a lot of attention. It's really rare to own real estate at this price point, right? I know there's some challenges, but it's either this or you're paying $250,000, right, for a property or more. If you're looking at 40 acres outside of Butte, it's probably worth more than that, if you got a driveway roughed into the property and access. So there is no zoning. There's not going to be a lot of restrictions to what a person can do here. So, RVs are going to, it's allowed, right? There's a lot that's going to be allowed on this property, not many restrictions. So like I said, a camping property, recreational property, taxes are low. So maintenance is low. I love this land investment. We do a lot of these type of deals. It is a world-class location. So again, when we're doing viewings, I recommend using this app, Onyx Maps. I kind of showed you guys the property here on Google Earth, what we're looking at. So if you have questions, give us a call. This is a nice ridge line up here, and then it starts to slope down here a little bit as well too. So again, a property very close to Butte. Looking at that bird's eye view, all we're doing is copying and pasting coordinates into Onyx Maps, Land Glide, or let's say Google Maps. So again, Miles here with Wilco Land. I do have some other properties up there in Montana, as well as surrounding areas. Give our website a look. 605-299-5553 is how you can reach me. Thanks for tuning in.